Yeah, for sure. First off with Josh Picola, actually first off with St. Francis. It's a brotherhood. It reminds me a lot of this program with culture, pride, and poise. Um, with Josh Picola, he was my teammate, but we're also related actually. So it's a good little family competition. We're always getting at each other. So I'm excited, to see him. And I know he has a big role this year. So, I'm excited to go against him. It'll be our first time against each other. And then with Bennett, he's actually my roommate as well. One of my best friends. We came into St. Francis together, knowing that we'd have a big role. We actually got moved up to varsity together. We were like the first one in St. Francis history. So ever since then, we've just always been tight. And even when he's at Illinois, we were always, communicating all the time. And to have him come here and be a part of this program, and just knowing what type of guy he is and what he can offer to this program is great.
AJ Jacobson, Rivals.
Cyrus, I was asking Coach Mastro about your offseason improvement, and one of the things he said is that, you deserve to be like a guy that's not just a red zone guy or a goal line guy, but an every down type of back. What have you done to make him say this that's expanded your game thusly?
Yeah, just working on versatility. I mentioned last time too, I went down to SoCal and worked on a lot of straight line running and just being able to run comfortable and not always looking for contact when I'm running the ball. So just becoming more agile, stretching more, doing what I can, anything really. I hit him up, he gave me a list of things, and, some of the things I just mentioned were on his list for me to improve on. And that's what I did drastically. So, yeah.
Aaron Heisen, KWVA.
Yeah, Cyrus, you're one of the guys on the team that plays with a lot of passion, a lot of heart. With Autzen Stadium not being filled with 50+ thousand fans and that energy, how are you guys filling that void? And who else has stepped up to fill that energy void as a leader? Yeah,
for sure. I think really someone who stands out to me is Nick Pickett. He's been very vocal this year, a lot more than the past years, and I think that's awesome. He brings, a lot of hype to the team, and he gets us excited. And Coach Cristobal always mentions that we have to bring our own juice. I don't really know what it's like on game day without Autzen, and really with those fans, it's such an awesome experience. So I'm really curious to see how it is. But when it comes to a juice standpoint and us being ready, I don't think that'll be a problem. I know it won't.
Eric Scopel, 247 Sports.
Cyrus, I knew you grew up not too far from Palo Alto. You know that program really well. You just mentioned knowing Josh a second ago. For this, does this mean these games mean a little bit more to you? And then just in general, now having played in a couple of these rivalry games with Stanford, what have you learned from those experiences?
Yeah, for sure. I grew up right over the overpass, less than 5 miles away. I grew up going to Stanford games. And actually, it's a little off the record, but my high school quarterback, his dad is Dwayne Aquina. So I was very close with the Aquina. I still am, the Aquina family. And I believe he's still coaching DBs there. So I was, in high school on their practice field, running routes with his name's Kamalu'i, the son. So I've been around Stanford. I've been on that campus. It's a little more personal when I play them, just because I've been there my whole life, and it's almost like a second home. They're a great team, and I'm really excited, to go head to head with them.
AJ Jacobson.
Cyrus, when you look at the running back roster for Oregon, all you guys were featured, guys of your offense in high school. Coach Mastro tells us, he's planning on 2.5 running backs ready. How does that room stay happy with guys so used to having the rock?
Yeah, for sure. Really, it's a healthy competition in the room. I feel like we really better ourselves. Each year, I feel like we just mature more and more, especially with us three, CJ, Travis, and I, and taking the younger guys under our wing is something we've taken a lot of pride in. And really, I just feel like the offense as well, and what we have upcoming is we'll feature a lot of the backs, and we have a lot of versatility in this offense, and it works out well because I feel like each running back kind of gives its own little flavor to the offense, and we're going to include all that. So yeah.
Matt Preem, 247 Sports.
Cyrus, you've played in a couple of these games, and how would you describe just the physicality of this one? The last couple of games, and What makes this game so interesting, so tough?
You talking about Stanford or? Yeah, okay. Really, I mean, Stanford is known. Like I said, I mentioned before. I grew up around Stanford. They're always known. The Toby Gerhardts, guys like that. They're just a physical team, downhill team. They run I-backs, pro offense, and it's a grinder. And I feel like the Stanford versus Oregon rivalry ever since I've been young, and I'm sure you guys know too. It's always been a big thing on the West Coast. So it's just different. They pack a different punch. And we're ready for it.
Warren Williamson, Oregon Duck Football News.
Cyrus, game week is here. I want to keep it simple. Just how ready are you guys to go? Coach said that you're ready to hit someone else. Where are you guys mentally as you're 2-3 days away?
As a team, I feel like we're completely ready. There's just been so much uncertainty in the off season of, we're on, then we're off, we're on, then we're off. But to know that we're on and we're going, it's the best feeling ever. And I know everybody feels the same way. So we're ready to get this thing started for sure.
We got time for two more. Jerry Allen, voice of the Ducks.
TD Likio, got to keep that moniker this year, so come through for me. Hey, you remember last year, the preparation and how ready you were yourself and as a team going into the first game. Is there a different feeling in that sense of readiness because you haven't had the normal amount of time to prepare?
Well, I would say it is a bit of a different feeling just because, like I mentioned, the uncertainty, but also just because really the guys last year too, a lot of the guys have graduated and have moved on. They played a huge role last year in leadership and getting us ready. And I just feel like it's different, especially for me, because I've learned to take that role. And since I'm an upperclassman now, and really getting myself ready, but pushing other guys to get them ready. So it was a bit of a different feeling. But, I mean, at the end of the day, you got to be ready. When the lights come on and that whistle is blowing, we got to go. So either way, we're ready.
Last question goes to AJ Jacobson.
Cyrus, Stanford usually has a very stout front seven on their defense. What have you seen from them on film? What are you expecting to see from them on Saturday?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they run a lot of 3 down, 4 down. They mix it up. They're number 34. I forget his name, but he's a nose guard in the middle. He's tough. He's a tough son of a gun. So he plays really well. He controls the center of that defense. And also their number 2 linebacker is returning. Tall, lengthy guy. Kind of reminds me a bit of Troy Dye on the way he plays. Great player. So we're excited. They're stout. And I mentioned earlier, my cousin, Josh Picola, will be a 3 tech. So I'm excited to go against him. I know how strong he is. So it's going to be a battle up front. And, we're ready.